and welcome to The Truth Will Not Be Silenced, the show that allows Black people to be seen, to be heard, and to be human. I'm your host, Melissa Woodfork White. In today's episode, we will talk about empowerment with the founder of the Worthy Academy, Monique Washington. We'll discuss the controversial topic of empowerment and the importance of educating and equipping young women that need to be shared, that allows us to be seen, to be heard, and to be human. As a Black professional woman with over 28 years in the workforce, I understand the importance of empowerment because of the color of my skin. Sharing our stories allows us to be seen, to be heard, and to be human. There will be a special surprise at the end of the show. Be sure to listen all the way through for the details. Our guest today is the founder of the Worthy Academy, Monique Washington. Monique is a minister, author, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. She is a native of Savannah, Georgia, and a graduate of Savannah Technical College and Community College of the United States Air Force. She is currently pursuing her bachelor's degree in health services management at the University of Maryland Global Campus. Monique is a veteran of the world's greatest United States Air Force. She is the founder of the Worthy Academy Incorporated, The Beginning Publishing LLC, and Braxton Family Enterprises Incorporated. She currently resides in Atlanta, Georgia. Monique is going to share with us her work and the importance of empowerment. Hi, Monique. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Melissa and everyone. Thank you for having me. It is great to be here on today. What a marvelous, amazing, just, oh goodness, introduction. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome sauce. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the first question. Why is empowerment such a controversial topic?
Empowerment is such a controversial topic, especially during today's time because of the gender biases. When women and men are fighting about what's going on, who should be the top, who should be the bottom, who should be the head. And so there's really like no structure, if you will, so to speak. Think about it. So yes, we finally got a woman as a vice president in the House, but guess what? It's so many struggles that she had to overcome just to be in that position. If you think about like, let's say Marilyn Monroe, for an example, she's a white actress and whatnot, but you would never know who she was, depicted as someone beautiful. When we had another female, I forgot her name, but Betty Boop was characterized, quote unquote, as a quote unquote Marilyn Monroe, but the original Betty Boop was a Black woman, but you would not know that because we were swept under the rug. Like you and I have two different complexions. And so because we have two different complexions, you're on the inside of the house, I'm on the outside of the house, and even in the workforce, because you are lighter skinned than me, you will be looked at and chosen to go to promotion boards, go to different tiers in a company that you work for because of our complexion, being Black women, but we're two different shades. So we already have that stripe against it. We're Black, but we're also two different shades. In corporate America, in the military, retail, whatever industry you're working in, that's an issue. And so us being empowered by one another is a problem too, because we discriminate against each other. We don't help each other, support each other. We tear one another down. And that's in the Black community, as well as us as women. We're like crabs in a barrel, you know? That's the issue. And so with the Worthy Academy, we're fixing that today.
So what I understand is that when we talk about empowerment, we're talking about gender biases between men and women and the different pay structures that take place within an organization, a corporation, and a business. We are also talking about racism because of the fact where you are a person of color, you're not empowered as if you were not a person of color. And you also touched along the lines of colorism, where there's no racial discrimination among Black people, but there is a such thing called colorism, which you touched on, which is deals with the brown paper bag test, being different shades of color when we're all Black. You also touched on the fact that how, as a culture, as a Black culture, we can be crabs in a barrel, like we're out for self and not for the whole of all of us. And you also said that that's a common thing among women of color. And so I've experienced what you talked about for the simple fact that it could be only just me, a person that looks like me in the workforce, and I can have more degrees. Well, I have more degrees, more education, more experience than my non-Black counterparts, but then I'm not empowered to do what I can do according to my credentials, my experience, and my education because of the color of my skin. Also, I have worked where there have been one other person that looked like me, and they were out for self, meaning that it wasn't me and them against the world, it was them for themselves. So I've experienced what you have given us a glimpse into why empowerment is such a controversial topic. This moves us into the next question. Why the need for educating and equipping young women important to being empowered and empowerment? Tell us about the Worthy Academy.
So the reason why the Worthy Academy exists was because partly my experiences when I first left home, joining into the military, didn't know a whole lot about everything. But being young, say in my early 20s, I was at the time, just moving away from everything. As far as having a support system, that didn't exist, for a young Black female moving away. And my first duty station was in Spokane, Washington. And so being there in a predominantly Caucasian area, that was a bit challenging for me, having to feel like, okay, what am I going to do? Because the statistics, the numbers, it was more of this group than it was of that group, And so with the Worthy Academy, our mission is empowering, equipping, and allowing them to achieve success personally and professionally. So we teach them how to dress right, as far as professional development, teaching them financial literacy, so they can budget their finances. Too many times, us as women, we aren't taught how to manage our finances. Most of the times, that's pushed on men. So, no, at the Worthy Academy, you will be able to balance the checkbook. You know how to cook and clean, all those great things, through those lost skills. But you also know your worth, your value, who you are. As far as personal development programs that we offer, your health and wellness is important. Not everyone's harping on mental health and whatnot, but you got to be socially, emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually capable to accomplish your goals. And if you aren't able to do that, that's a problem. So at the Worthy Academy, we're going to address all 5 of those tiers for you so that you can accomplish your goals personally and professionally. If you want to go to college and get a degree, great. If not, that's okay. You want to be an entrepreneur, we'll put you on that track too. We'll teach you how to write a business plan, how to apply for grants and funding, those things there, so that if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, self-employed, go for it. We'll do that for you as well. Since our opening, we've been able to help over 500 families since we opened. And we're a little over 4 years old. Can you believe it? 4 years old, starting. Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. A journey, I tell you what. And so we appreciate everyone who's contributed financially to us, even if it wasn't money, just sharing a post or sharing a flyer. We appreciate that, because getting the word out to know that you matter, that you are important, and that when you come through the Worthy Academy, guess what? You're going to know your worth, because you're going to be empowered, equipped, and educated to achieve your goals.
Well, I love the fact that you shared with us that the Worthy Academy was birthed out of your own personal experience and not having that support and structure system in place. And then you coming about said, well, we're going to provide that. We're going to provide that by educating, equipping, and empowering young women and families to do that. I also love how you focused on something that is a problem, because me as a long-term veteran educator, we don't teach financial literacy in school.
Nope.
So with that being said, a lot of times, unless you get a job or you have parents that open up a savings account for you or a checking account for you, and then they show you how to do it, most people don't have that experience. And so they need someone to teach them how to open an account, how to balance a checkbook, and so forth. And so with that being said, I think that financial literacy piece is very critical and crucial. Yes. When I was in the classroom, I taught that anyway, even though it was not a part of the curriculum. It's something that I have 7th and 8th graders that are getting ready to go to high school that more likely than not is going to get their first job in high school, because of the demographics in which I teach in. They have to contribute to the household at a younger age. And so with that being said, I had a club, a financial literacy club that they came to, where they learned about taxes. They learned about checks and balances. They learned all of this skill set, and then they had it prepared, ready to get their first job and to enter into high school. And so that moves us into a question that's going to hit home for you, is how has empowerment affected you? the positives, the negatives. Share with us your experience of not being empowered because you're a woman, not being empowered because you're Black. And then share with us how you overcame that and how you are empowered to do what you do, because now you have the Worthy Academy, 4 years going strong. So share with us your own personal experiences.
Yeah, so I remember doing my time in the military. I was in Louisiana at this particular location, and I had a supervisor that would not allow me to discipline my subordinate. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And it was the issue, I'm a woman, I'm Black, yes, but my supervisor was also Caucasian at the time. And so I've had a few of them in my tenure in the military. But I remember this incident because I wanted to correct and do certain practices that was normal when certain incidents occurred in the military. You discipline your subordinates, but he would not allow that. And so I was like, okay, this is not working. And it got to a point where the balance was just off. I literally was this close to having a stroke. And so I managed to get myself to the hospital and everything like that. And so I got moved to a different location. And the Worthy Academy came about a year or two, a couple of years after I moved to a different location. Still in Louisiana, but I moved up to a different location, and there, oh my gosh, my career, everything was elevated. It shot up. I was nominated for awards. These things began to happen for me. And so once that happened, I'm like, okay, I started with the business, formerly known as Simply Beautiful SB. And when I tell you, people's lives were definitely changed. Mine was changed because I got to see people actually grow and develop differently. And so from that experience with that one supervisor, and then moving on to a different location, get a different supervisor, him seeing my worth, my value. If I go back, I can think of so many incidents is where me being a Black woman specifically, let's go back to my first place where I lived in Washington. That was, I think, the most trying time I've experienced as being a Black woman, seriously, because the office dynamics that I was in, I was the only one. And so when somebody finally came in the picture, it was a guy. And so, but he outranked me and all this stuff, whatever, but it was definitely back and forth. And so knowing what I want to do at that younger age, knowing where I want to be and everything, it's like, okay, I can figure this out. And so finally, when the Worthy Academy came out, I'm like, here it is. Here's something where these people can come. They don't have to worry about looking like this, being skinny, tall, fat, anything. They can be themselves, whatever it is they are. Here's your opportunity now to be that way. And you're going to get the tools you need to know that you're mad at it so that you can accomplish whatever goals you set forth. And so present day, I'm at a different company, no longer in the military, but I work for a major nonprofit organization. And I got promoted within 90 days, less than 90 days on that job. And I am a woman, and I am a Black woman, but I've since then, going back since we've been open, I went through different jobs, yes, but at this particular company, getting promoted like that is not really common. And so I've even been offered another position, less than a year being there. So I've been in a place where I am empowered. I'm actually the person like in charge, if you will, there. Within 90 days, who does that? God does that, gives you favor, and people actually recognizing who you are, seeing your potential, where you can take their company. So elevation is possible for anyone.
Yes. Now you said a couple of gems when you shared your personal experience. When you talked about how when you were in the military and you were and you were in a position of power.
Yes, I was.
You could discipline, but then the person above you, who was a white Caucasian male, wouldn't allow you to do that. Because Correct. This is your personal experience, would you say it was because you were a woman and you were Black, or was it just because you're a Black woman?
I think it was both, that I'm a Black woman, you know what I'm saying? Like that, because it was
Remember,
like,
this is your experience. Can't nobody take this away from you. This is your truth.
Right. For me, I felt like he had a little favoritism towards my subordinate because she was Caucasian too, And so it was just, here it is, here comes
the color line was drawn.
Yeah, I feel like the color line was drawn between us because here I am and then here she is, right? And so
and for our listeners, she's pointing to the color of her skin as being Black. Go ahead.
Right. And so, yes. And so that situation, and some people, well, no, that's not the case. Well, if you've never been in the military, then I'm sorry for you. If you there still is a good old boy system, it exists everywhere, but you think it'll be different in that environment, but it's not different at all. It really isn't. Some stuff is I may not go there, but nevertheless, I'm grateful for the experience, for that leader, which I learned how not to be. There was good and bad. You take good and bad with everything. So I'm grateful for that experience to teach me how to be a better leader, and how to, which makes the Worthy Academy even better. So
well, I will tell you something. We do hear in the news, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, about how things have not changed in the military and how they are much the same as back in before civil rights. And so by you having experienced that firsthand, you're letting people know that it still hasn't changed, because you're a young woman yourself and you're still experiencing these things in our US military. And it is what you have experienced is racism. You've also experienced being a woman, more importantly, being a Black woman in the military. And so with that being said, you know, once again, this great organization that you have founded, it came about because of what you experienced, because you wanted to see a change that wasn't there when you were there. And you wanted to be able to educate and equip people and empower, especially young women like yourself, through those situations in order for them to be successful. I also want to say congratulations on all of your many awards and accolades, but I don't want to get off of our conversation, but congratulations on all that. I see all of the wonderful things that you're doing. I see all of the wonderful awards that you're getting. I just want to say that is awesome. Keep it up. And
thank you.
You are very welcome. We're going to move into the next question. How has recent events of disadvantaged women in need of empowerment affected you? So these are the stories of the young women that you have helped through the Worthy Academy.
Right. So I remember one young lady in particular. I remember her in particular. She just finished high school, was looking to like go to college and do some things. And so we had to figure out a way for her to actually reach this particular goal, which is major. She wanted to become a pilot. And so we dug our heels in, researching, trying to find, okay, where can she go? What's affordable? What's not affordable? And we had that, and we was able to do so. So I'm hopeful we was able to do so. So now she's should be finishing up right now and being a pilot, one of a very few female African-American pilots, which is pretty awesome with her. And I could think of some other people, some other young ladies who were, and I work with all ethnicities, all races, all backgrounds, whether you African-American, Asian, Caucasian, Puerto Rican, whatever it is you may be, you know, Hispanic people, whatever it is you are.
I am going to interject right here, Monique, because even though you're sharing your stories and how the Worthy Academy came into existence and how it has thrived over the last 4 years and how it is thriving today, I think that it's very important for our audience to know that you help all people, that you don't just help Black people, you just don't help people of color, you help anybody that feels like that they're not getting what they need to be successful. And I think that that is a wonderful thing. Can you also tell us about a particular young woman or a particular group of women that you have helped that just felt like that they weren't able or capable, meaning that they've been discriminated against? They've been told that they can't do this because they're a woman, or they've been told that they can't do that because they're Black.
Right. So I will say, we do, in one of our classes, that because I teach classes, and one of our classes is a professional development, and so I had a few young ladies come through, and they want to be in the healthcare field, and so we actually like, hey, she told me what she wanted to do, so here we go. We implemented that, whatever she needed. I can go back as far as saying paying, like we pay for registrations, tuitions, or whatnot that need to be done so that that won't be a hindrance, a barrier to you. Teaching them how to do goals. Teaching them once you can identify a SMART goal, being specific, measurable, attainable, reachable in time. The SMART goal, you're able to accomplish that. And so we've had young people who felt like, okay, I can't do this. And I say young people because they're younger than me, because our age group is 18 to 24. So you can't be the same age category as me. You know what I'm saying? I love to help everyone, but we have a specific target audience that we're working with. And so And these young ladies have been able to, with a mixture, Caucasian and African American, they are actually now working. These are now working young people. Some of them had to get their licenses, things of that nature, whatnot, but they're now working class citizens. The idea is to make them, once they finish with the World Academy, become model citizens. So now the young ladies that we've been able to come through our program, they are now, some of them are self-employed, some of them actually are employed working at various places. So one of my favorite, I think, stories or whatnot, I would say, or persons to say, would be when they come back and say thank you. This one particular young lady, when she said thank you, because it was difficult for her to get a place, to get a job, all these different things. And so finally, we were able to give her the resources and things that she needed to get to that place. She's in a happy space. You know, people get so distraught, they want to commit suicide. And so we're about life and living and love and hope. And so when you get to that brink of suicide, okay, and we can help you get out of that space, then we've definitely done more than just our mission and vision, which is empowering and equipping you to achieve success personally and professionally. But definitely that one there in particular stands out to me more. So that you know their life matters, and so now they're all successful. They all grown up. You know,
awesome. Well, I can tell you that from my experience as a veteran educator is that it seems like I've heard it so many times, which is very heartbreaking, but I shouldn't hear it at all. Where I have kids that are Black kids that are told that they're not going to be anything, that they're not going to be able to do anything, and that you ain't never going to be nothing. And when they say that, I'll be like, not in my class.
Right, exactly.
My class. I've had students that didn't like their hair, Black students that didn't like their hair because they have natural, kinky, curly hair. And you know what? I would do my hair like theirs. And you know what? I would put some braids in too. And you know what? They were beautiful. They are beautiful. And they learned that by going through my class. I've had students that I live out in Phoenix, Arizona. So the population of Black people is probably less than 3%. And we're spread out all over the state. But majority of that, probably 3%. And I'm estimating. So for my audience, I'm not stating a fact, I am estimating. And so majority of those people of color, Latino, Hispanics, Black people live on the south side of Phoenix, which is where I teach. And so with that being said, it was heartbreaking. I've been here for 4 years. It was heartbreaking for me to hear you're the first Black teacher that I've had.
Wow.
And you're the first Black teacher who said that I can do anything that I want to do.
But
and you're the first Black teacher to actually teach me how to read or write, and I'm in the 7th and 8th grade.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's heartbreaking, but we do what we can to change lives. And so a lot of my students have went on to high school, and they are in honor classes because I prepared them. I taught them. I educated them. I don't just teach the curriculum. I teach more than the curriculum. I've always been that teacher, just like you, to go above and beyond what students need. And every student need is not the same. So you can't teach them all like a melting pot. You have to teach them like a mosaic. And so I think that the work that you're doing, the lives that you've touched, the lives that you've changed is awesome. So this leads me to our last question. How does sharing your story today help others? Is there any other work that you've done? Any events? Any speaking engagement? Anything that you're doing to bring about empowering, equipping, and educating these young women?
So right now we're actually meeting at one of the local libraries here in Atlanta, Georgia. We meet every Saturday at various times, and we're going to professional development. So we have a whole seminar series on professional development as well as personal development. And so they come in their class, and we figure out what their goals are. And each class is different. So we had a financial literacy class. We also had a goal setting class. We're actually identifying professional development. So kind of each week is something different, a different lesson that they will learn. And so we do that every Saturday at a local library here in Atlanta. You can also catch us on Facebook, social media, the World Academy Inc., the World Academy on the World Academy Inc. on Instagram and Facebook as well. You can email us, the World Academy GA @gmail.com. Our website, the World Academy Inc. Got a wixsite.com. Follow us, like us, everything. Your support matters. Shout out to Staples. Thank you so much. They've been with us, you guys, since we pretty much started. And thank you, because how it would help those families, because somebody believed in me. And one day I'll share this with you guys. I walked into Staples a few years ago on faith and the prayer. I promise you, they said, wings and a prayer. I walked in with faith and spoke to one of the managers and explained to him what we were doing. And so they literally, my first task, they gave us some coupons, like $100 school supplies, like expensive for college students, you know? And so they gave us that and gave us packages, school supply packages for these students. And so we've been able to bless people nationally and internationally. So the Word Academy, we here in Georgia, but I always say we're mighty, you know what I'm saying? We're small but mighty is my quote. We're small but mighty. And so if you're interested in taking one of our courses, if you, or even just kind of be a volunteer, we love volunteers, okay? If you're interested in doing so, email us and give us a call at 404-490-0697, or send me an email at thewordacademyga@gmail.com. We will respond to you. We take monetary donations as well, so you can contribute to our PayPal as well if you would like to. And we are 501c3 certified, so your donation is a tax deductible. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Monique. You are doing awesome work. You're doing an awesome job. You are changing lives. And we appreciate you taking the time out to be on our show and to share the Worthy Academy, which is your passion and your baby. And we wish, and we know that there'll be many more years to come. You're going to be around for a very long time. Keep doing what you're doing. And also, once again, to our audience, please, please, please support in any way that you can. Reach out. She takes donations of any form. They don't have to be monetary, because she also does clothing donations. She does shoe donations to help out these young women, which is awesome. So with that being said, thanks for joining us today, Monique.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. So next week, we'll continue to discuss controversial topics about race and have conversations about personal and professional experiences with racism, love, loss, employment, and education. Stories that need to be shared, seen, and heard that makes us human. The truth will not be silenced. To be seen, to be heard, to be human. The surprise: if you like and leave a positive comment about this show, you will get a shout out. That includes businesses, products, services, organizations, and events. Following the link in the show notes lets Buzzsprout know we sent you and help support our show. Buzzsprout is the best way to launch a professional podcast. Want to ask a question, be a guest, or subscribe to this podcast? The truth will not be silenced. Click on the show link. Thank you for joining us today.